Welcome to Better Police Reports. I'm Jean Reynolds. Today's topic is Comma Rule 3. If you've ever taken an English course, and I'm sure you have, you probably know the feeling of being overwhelmed. There's so much terminology. There's a lot of jargon, there are a lot of rules, there are a lot of principles. Well, the good news is that when you boil all of this information down, there are only 3 comma rules that you need to write most professional sentences. And by the way, that goes for any field, not just public safety. So today we're going to cover comma rule 3. I've already covered rules 1 and 2 in my video on professional sentences. So now we're going to complete all of them. Comma rule 3 is really simple. It just deals with a pair of commas. One comma takes your voice down, and the other comma takes your voice back up to where it was before. This rule, once you've learned it, is very simple. Now, did you hear what I just said? My voice changed. This rule, once you've learned it, is very simple. So let's do that with the commas. This rule, comma, once you've learned it, comma, is very simple. So we're going to spend a few minutes on it. And what I'm going to do to help this really stick with you is to do a little time traveling. We're going to go back to the 1950s and talk about a popular television show, The Adventures of Superman. This is the black and white version starring George Reeves as Superman. And there's a reason we'll be doing this. You're going to see this in a minute. Today, after you finish this video, I would encourage you to go to YouTube and watch the first minute or so of any Superman video. There are lots of episodes up there. They all start the same way. Right? So let's talk about this. This is the typical beginning. It takes less than a minute, by the way. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. And then it goes on. A few seconds later, you see Clark Kent in his 50s suit with the wide lapels, and then he magically turns into Superman with his cape and an American flag behind him. And the announcer says, who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. Now, did you hear my voice change? One comma takes your voice down, the next comma takes your voice back up. So, who, comma, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, comma, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way. When I taught this to my students, I always called it the Superman rule. They had a lot of fun with that. And I used to tell them to be sure to use 2 commas. Again, one to take your voice down, one to bring your voice back up. And I used to warn them, if you forget the second comma, which people do, you will have to spend the rest of your life talking like this. Now, I'm exaggerating, but this is a great way to learn this rule. You're going to start hearing it. And if you're ever stuck on a sentence, say it out loud and see if there's a voice change in it. You'll know right where the commas go. Let's try a simpler example. This is from, of course, the Mission Impossible show. I'm going to read the sentence, listen for a voice drop, and then we'll punctuate it. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to intercept the enemy plane. Did you hear the commas? Your mission, comma, should you choose to accept it, comma, is to intercept the enemy plane. One more time. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to intercept the enemy plane. Now, I'm exaggerating my voice a little bit, but not much. And if you listen, you're going to hear this all over the place. It's a very popular way to say or write a sentence. All right. Now you should be ready to do a couple of actual sentences. So let's try it. Dan, who wrote the procedure, will chair the meeting. Did you hear my voice change? Dan, who wrote the procedure, will chair the meeting. The budget, in my opinion, is sufficient. The budget, in my opinion, is sufficient. All right, as I said, this is the third of your comma rules. It's not as common as the first two. That's why I saved it for last. So don't start thinking that you're going to have a Superman structure in every sentence. But as I said, it's very common, and it's a really handy way to write a sentence. I just mentioned that there are 3 comma rules. You can download a free handout. It's just 2 sides that explains all 3 rules and gives you examples. Go to www.yourpoliceright.com. I also encourage you to take a look at my book, Criminal Justice Report Writing. There is a chapter about each of the 3 comma rules. Remember, they are your basic tools for professional writing. There are activities for you to do, and there's an answer key in the back so that you can check your progress. Now, there's one more thing I'd really like you to do. I'd like you to go to YouTube and watch the first minute or so of an episode of The Adventures of Superman. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching.